Greetings. It's your brother Elder Blacklight. In the name of Allah, the beneficent and merciful, who came into the person of Master Farah Muhammad, I extend the greetings to my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another transmission of Elder Blacklight Soul School. On the screen it says, for as the lightning comes from the east and flashes to the west, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Matthew 24:27.
In the place widely known as the Black Bottom, a predominantly Black or so-called African-American neighborhood in Detroit, Michigan, with a population of about 1.6 million in 1930, on Detroit's near east side, bounded by Gratuit Avenue, Brush Street, the Detroit River, and the Grand Trunk Railroad tracks. The Black Bottom was part of the riverbed of the River Savoyard, which was old.
Excuse me for interrupting. When he was describing the location, he mentioned the word gratuit. The actual pronunciation of the word is gratiot. And Lafayette. That's one of the borders of Black Bottom.
Ultimately buried as a sewer around 1827. The rich soil of its bottom are the source of the area's name. Hastings Street, which ran north-south through the Black Bottom, had been a center of Eastern European Jewish settlement well before World War I, with housing that was built in the late 19th and earlier 20th centuries. As the population began changing from so-called immigrant to migrant, the homes became packed with African Americans from the South who came to work in the surrounding auto factories. Restrictive housing covenants prohibited them from living in most other parts of the city. Black Bottom suffered more than most areas during the Great Depression, since many of the wage earners worked in the hard-hit auto factories. During World War II, both the physical decay of Black Bottom rapidly increased as many more people poured into a city faced with a housing shortage. And racial discrimination restricted Blacks to the increasingly overcrowded Black Bottom area. Black Bottom would soon see its residents and businesses forcibly relocated and the community destroyed. Already suffering from the economic effects and racial discrimination in Detroit, homes in the community were not equipped with modern amenities. Before its demise, Black Bottom saw the legendary likes of Billie Holiday, Duke Ellington, and Ella Fitzgerald. The community acted as a backdrop for thriving clubs and bars. With about 350 businesses and music in its DNA, the Black Bottom was dubbed Detroit's Black Wall Street. It is said that if you needed anything, you can get it on Hastings Street, which was the primary artery that businesses were on. There were bakeries, insurance companies, doctors, tailors, dentists, and it was all wiped away by 1975. Notably, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed in this year as well. The life-giving teachings of the Nation of Islam was also a victim of this attempt to murder and wipe away after his demise on February 25th, 1975. The Black Bottom area was eventually demolished, as many historic Black-owned areas, towns, and sites are and have been in the United States of America. 1950s, it was replaced with Lafayette Park, residential district, and a freeway. It is pretty much common practice or customary in U.S. history to flood, burn, and demolish so-called African-American flourishing or historic neighborhoods, towns, property, and homes. In this very same setting and environment, what became known as America's most influential and powerful Black organization to date, the Lost Foundation of Islam, was born and began its humble beginnings. In these very ghettos of Detroit, Michigan, 1930 marked the first year of the Great Depression, which worsened the already bleak economic situation of the so-called African American. On Black Thursday, October 24, 1929, nervous investors began selling overpriced shares in bulk. A record 12.9 million shares were traded this day in history. After previously going through rapid expansion and reaching its peak, the stock market went plummeting. Production declined and unemployment rose, leaving stock.
Now, right here is where the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, better known as the Federal Reserve, aka Illuminati. That's where they took over the control of Congress. And the stock market crash was on purpose.
Market prices much higher than their actual value. A worldwide economic downturn that originated in the U.S. Consumer spending was low, and so goods began to pile up. Wages were low. Consumer debt was proliferating. The agricultural sector of the economy was struggling due to drought and falling food prices. And banks had excess of large loans that could not be liquidated. The longest and most severe depression ever experienced by the industrialized Western world, sparking fundamental changes in economic institutions, macroeconomic policy, and economic theory. Public assistance programs gave substantially less, if any, to African Americans, always less than whites. Many soup kitchens or public service systems ruled by whites excluded Blacks in totality. Whites ran majority businesses and establishments in the Black communities and refused to hire Blacks even though they were the majority customer. It caused drastic declines in output, despair, hunger, severe unemployment, confusion, disillusionment, and acute deflation in almost every country of the world. Its social and cultural effects were the harshest adversity faced by Americans since the Civil War. The Great Depression, lasting from about 1929 to 1939, was on top of the confusion, problems, and burdens already placed on the so-called African American Negro. As the frustrations of the top of societies trickled down with a heavy hand and foot to boot the grill and face of the bottom of societies. And in America, as well as other countries, after the bottom was the bottom of the bottom, the Afro descendants of the world, whose reality was compared to that of the living suicide. Treated as subhumans, racial inequalities, social injustices, homelessness, starvation, childlessness, without hope or care, seeping into the darkness of despair, facing numerous health ailments, death, sickness, malnutrition, statistically affected African Americans at rates that were doubled, tripled, or more than the rest of society. At the end of the rope of hope appeared a savior. He has arrived. Detroit, Michigan, July 4th, 1930. Independence Day. Simultaneously as America celebrated its independence from England, the man, the myth, the legend, Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises are forever due, made himself manifest and known in the wilderness and hellholes of North America.
I'd like to thank the brother who published this documentary. Got to find his name. It's called Angel Network. It's available. The whole entire documentary is available as we speak. Called The Times of Master Farad Muhammad. On YouTube. All praise is due to Allah. Let us continue.
On February 26, 1877, a savior was born. He came in and out of the country of the United States of America for about 20 years, purposely undetected at the time until 1930, when he made himself known on a mission that started as a covert mission to find a lost people, a lost and now found people, a nation within a nation, to reform the so-called African American and put them to themselves, where they can go and do for themselves as all other countries, lands, peoples, and nations do.
Now that's the main theme. I want to pause it right there and get you to do some reasoning with us. The reasoning that most of our people haven't yet figured out what's going on around them. So I'd like to take this opportunity to explain it to you. As I change stations. Again, my brothers and sisters, this is Elder Blacklight. This video here is going to be posted later on. Tonight or today. The hereafter continues. On the last video, we were talking about economics. We're still talking about it. The reason why I named this Pimping the People is because we're in a dangerous spot. We're in a dangerous spot, people. And what I mean by that, when the Caucasian hand gets caught in a cookie jar, and can't nobody really arrest him. Don't nobody had a power. I'm talking about the leaders of the United States. Don't nobody really had a power to arrest him now. You know? Don't nobody have the weapons and a strategy to make war with him. So Master Farad Muhammad came to unite us during this period or this cycle in time. When I say us, I'm the black, brown, red, and yellow are half brothers. But the Caucasian or the Caucasoid is completely out the family of the righteous. The original Asiatic black man, his nature is Islam, which means divine order, which also translates into peace. Because if everything is in order, you have peace. If everything is out of order, you have chaos. And rather than go through a long explanation, I just put it like this. Ever since the Caucasian went to uh, Africa in 1555, and the main player of this event was John Hawkins to bring us over here. And he ran game on us, ran technology on us. And so by him running technology on us, which is simple psychology or simple psych, because we were not used to being lied to. We were not used to being lied to. We were naive, gullible to that type of treatment. And John Hawkins knew this because he studied our habits for about 20 years before he decided to trick us on the boat. But once he tricked us on the boat and we realized that it was a trick, he put us in chains. And from there, from the trip from Africa to America, he conditioned us, he tortured us. And once he tortured us and conditioned our minds, that process escalated for 400 years. Until we were totally brainwashed and programmed and conditioned to believe that the Caucasian was our God, and he gave us his corrupt mind, his unrighteous way of living, and didn't never educate us, period. Because if a man won't treat you right, he ain't gonna teach you right. Why should he teach you right and then you'll be equal to him? So all during this time was the preparation of Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And during the time, I say 1910, was when Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad came to the shores and wilderness of America. But he hadn't came to Detroit yet. He went to California, and he came in and out the country for about 20 years before he came to Detroit, meaning hanging with white people, because he looked like a white man. He was composed by the scientists, by his father, Black God. So you can actually equate the word science with God, because the real meaning of God means the possessor of power and force. And the word science means to know. The root of that means to know. Because most of the English language especially the jargon of scientists and doctors, is Latin and Greek. And this language is composed by the Caucasian, by getting a little bit from here and there of all the ancient languages, because he didn't have a language. So he uses English as his language. And our basic language was an African language, or AKA the Asiatic language, Aramaic, also Arabic, and Hebrew. These sophisticated language was our language before we came over to in chains over to America, in the wilderness of America. Now, the Caucasian, his mind never was developed because he's only been in existence for 6,000 years. He has the mind of a 6-year-old. On the other hand, the black man, who's been here for trillions and trillions of years, has a mind of a god, a master scientist, a master of the elements. But we didn't lie. Our word was our bond. And we quote this today in the Nation of Islam. Drill is the foundation of military discipline. See, when Judge Joe Brown say man up, I give him a compliment on that, because we're supposed to protect our women and children. But once we were enslaved, brought over here in chains, terrorized, tortured, we can't hardly protect ourselves and our women and children. So that was the plan all along, to take away our manhood. But he has a hard time doing it. After all that torture and pain, we never did strike, never did try to annihilate our enemy. So Master Farad Muhammad know that we don't have the weapons. So he wants us to unite because we don't have uh, bombs of or weapons of mass destruction, but the humiliated Caucasian, because he's being discovered as being the beast of the Bible. His nature is a snake-like beast. So his only hope is to turn us into him, and when the mass destruction comes, he want to take as many of us as he can. So that's why you got Israel saying we got nuclear weapons. And we got a bomb called a Samson bomb. And the reason why they call it the Samson bomb is because when Samson got tricked by Delilah, made a slave, and made deaf, dumb, and blind, and made to forget his creator and who he really was. And then finally, it dawned on him who he really was. And so he destroyed himself along with his enemies. Are y'all listening? He destroyed himself along with his enemies. That's the story of Samson and Delilah. So the Israelites call themselves, got a bomb, and they say if necessary, we'll use this bomb to destroy the whole planet and everyone on it. We got the capability. So the United States, Biden and Trump hands got caught in the cookie jar. Hands got caught doing corruption. Hands got caught selling they people out, double crossing their own, killing their own, with pandemics and so forth, pimping the people with technology. Now, have you ever considered this? The president and the Congress, all the congressional crew, got an underground place to run to when the bombs start dropping. But what about me and you? Where can we run to in case of a nuclear war? We don't even have underground tunnels like Hamas. Hamas got tunnels, someone said, that goes 100 feet down. Bombs don't go that deep. Now let's stop there for a minute and talk about Hamas. The United States and Israel helped finance Hamas from its conception. 'Cause, 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 Hamas is a part of the Palestine uh, government. They're a government unto themselves, and they also warriors. Palestine was content letting them lead the way. They got rid of Yasser Arafat. They poisoned him. So I heard. It's hearsay. But the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, had a strong leader, but now they're using Hamas. And everybody say, well, the people got pushed too far. You know? So Hamas, that's why Hamas did what they did. Now Hamas did what they did because they was instructed to do what they did, to give the American and the Israelis a reason to attack Iran and all those over there, Islamic countries. That's why the Arabs and the Muslims, so-called Arabs and the so-called Muslims, excuse me, y'all brothers, saying this, because y'all leaders, matter of fact, all the people, poor people all over the planet, leaders, sold out to America. All of them, except the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But his son, Wallace or Warith Dean Muhammad, sold out. It was on the inside waiting for his chance to please the white man. And on the way, he took Farrakhan with him. Now, this is ordained by Allah because just like the Orthodox Muslims are divided into sects, the Shiite and the Sunni, the Nation of Islam started dividing up into sects. Some of them followed Silas, some of them followed, some of them are following, some of us are following the Son of Man, some of us are following Farrakhan, and we can't get it together. Because this is Allah's way of separating the righteous, the weak ones, separating the unrighteous, the weak ones, from the righteous, the strong ones. You know? And I'm going to read something to you right about now. In the Quran, what it say about brothers who you think is with you, but they're not with you. They're not down with you. So I'm on go to Surah 2, Bakra, or the heifer, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We're going all the way down to section 2. So of the people, there are some who say, we believe in Allah and the last day, but they do not really believe. Fain would they deceive Allah and those who believe, but they only deceive themselves and realize it not. In their hearts is a disease, and Allah has increased their disease, and grievous is the penalty they incur, because they are false to themselves. When it is said to them, make not mischief on the earth, they say, why? We only want to make peace. Of a surety, they are the ones who make mischief, but they realize it not. When it is said to them, believe as the others believe, they say, shall we believe as the fools believe? Nay, of a surety, they are the fools, but they do not know. When they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. But when they are alone with their evil ones, they say, we're really with you. We're really with you. Honest. We were only jesting. I threw that honest in there. It don't say that. I threw that in there. But anyway, excuse me for doing that. Allah will throw back their mockery on them and give them rope in their trespasses. Right there, give them rope. You heard this old saying, give a nigga enough rope and he'll hang himself, right? But that's what's happening. That's why Allah don't intervene on a whole lot of people say, where's Allah? That's why he don't intervene on what's happening now. I mean, he do, but he could end everything right now, but he gradually, intervene by using weather, and what he doing is spot cleaning places. Like you spot clean here and there, and then you do a detailed cleaning, a major cleaning. But for the time being, you spot clean here and there. You get the dirtiest or strategically the most corrupt spots as a sign to the major devil or shaitan, I'm getting ready to take you out. So Satan said, well, I'm going to take out some of your people. So there's a place in the Quran saying that those who follow you, I will feel hell with you all. You see? Y'all see that Mother Plain book in the back? So, continuing on, they say we believe, but when they are alone with their evil ones, they say, we're really with you. We're only justing. Allah will throw back their mockery on them and give them rope in their trespasses. So they will wander like blind ones to and fro. Just like Farrakhan got all the Nation of Islam over in Mosque Marianne joining up with Scientology. When Master Farad told him, he said, by the ordeal that you went through, I know that you were conditioned to do evil by my enemy Satan. So therefore, you are forgetting because you don't know no better. You know, you were tortured into believing or being like Satan. And he teaches you that. You know, Satan in his religion, Christianity, teaches that you were a sinner at birth. Well, let me show you the trigonology in that. Is that the system that you were born in, the United States of America, is a system of corruption and evilness. And so, by you being a slave in the wilderness of North America and have nothing of your own, you got to be born in a hospital. And he registered you, just like I was telling you in my last video, into his system, and his system is evil. Now let me run it on you another way. In the beginning, in paradise, when Adam and Eve was in paradise in the Garden of Eden with Allah, with Jehovah, with whoever you want to call him. When Adam and Eve was in the Garden of Eden, and he told them, Adam and Eve, which by the way is the white man, he told them not to eat of that tree. You know, don't go near that tree. But the point I want to get you to see is that the Garden of Eden was a place of divine order. You know, a place of peace. Now let me ask you this. Was Allah using money in the Garden of Eden? Was Allah using any means of currency or exchange? Did you have to buy, since we're talking about that tree, an apple? Or could you just go and eat from the tree without paying for it? No, I mean, you didn't have to buy, you in the Garden of Eden, you didn't have to pay for nothing. You know? What you got to pay for? Did you have taxes in the Garden of Eden? I mean, it's a lot of y'all believe in the Bible, right? Believe in the New Testament more than the Old Testament. Because that the New Testament is where they want to say Jesus came from, the gospel of Jesus. But anyway, let's go back to the Garden of Eden. Evidently, since God was walking around in the Garden of Eden too, God or Jehovah or Allah, you know, everybody was content except Adam and Eve. If they were content with the Garden of Eden and Allah and God or Jehovah or Yahweh or whatever name you want to say, all them good names, Elohim, good names, you know, they were content. Why would they listen to the serpent and bite and eat of the apple? You know, and Allah told them not to. They didn't believe in Allah and what he say. Because if they did, they wouldn't have listened to the serpent. They would have been loyal to the words of Allah. So Allah punished them and the serpent. Now, these are stories designed in such a way where you got to dig for the truth, you know. And the wisest of the Caucasians, they know the real meaning, but they have to throw you off, the slaves, you know, because we are energy, we are enemies of the Caucasian, because he's the complete opposite of us. You see? And we black got color or melanin, and he has a lack of that. And black is the essence of color. All color derives from black. So what's going on now, the wars over in Israel, in Palestine, where they say Jesus, where he was raised up at, born and raised. Why there? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that they have the body encased in glass, mummified, encased in glass, over in a secure place with guards that they won't let the Caucasians in. Well, you never heard of this before because the white man is ruling you. He's in charge of printing, you know, stuff up. He's in charge of the news. He's in charge of the history, the education. We put him in charge of everything. You see? And we did it, you know, under pressure because we was over here in, you know, in America. Slaves over here in America. Tortured over here in America. Terrorized over here in America. And so all our leaders, you know, that we had, they were jealous that we got now. They were jealous of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And they didn't believe him anyway. They don't want to believe him. They was just looking at that money. All what the believers have accumulated. You see? And believers halfway didn't understand. You know, you never heard, even when I was in FOI class, and when it came time for questions, you know, to throw whoever was head of the FOI class, I never heard brothers ask about some deep stuff like, but me, I asked the question, you know, uh, I said, where does thought come from? You know, I mean, what's the origin of thought? Not thought travels at 24 billion miles per second, but what makes thought? And brother gave me some, you know, philosophical answer, not a scientific answer though. And I noticed that when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad be speaking to his ministers in a group, none of them asked deep questions. You know, none of them asked questions, you know, too much. You know, maybe one or two might ask some deep questions, but the questions that they asked, if they were listening to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, were qualified or answered by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, if they would have listened in depth or eternalized what he was saying. But, you know, that's why he went very slow with the brothers, you know, and sisters, because he know that we didn't have no education. We barely knew how to read and write. Caucasian wouldn't let us read for 400 years or better. So, you know, he ain't gonna teach us on an equal level of himself, because then we might rule him, because he know how great we are. You know. So I'm trying to get y'all to understand that your educational system is a form of technology. YouTube is a form of technology. It's just a way to make commerce. It's just a way to make money. They want to head you away from brick and mortar stores. They want to downsize brick and mortar stores and get you to shop online. You see? Why? Because they're going to go underground. Where's your bomb shelter? Just in case it's a nuclear war, you know. Like over in Palestine, they have Hamas got tunnels and whatever, but the Palestinians don't have nowhere to go. They're just gonna stay there and get blasted. Or either some of them might run, but wherever they run to, they're gonna get blasted. They go to Egypt, they're gonna get bombed up. And they actually scared them, they actually only ones not scared of America is Iran. Saudi Arabia, they're kind of shaky. But if they join together, which the United States don't want, you know, they might have enough weaponry in their army, enough manpower to tangle. But Israel say, nah, you know, get all that. We'll just nuke y'all and kill us all. And if you notice, and if you ever watch their movies, when you find a high-ranking businessman doing wrong, he's embezzling or whatever, he's dignified, and he get caught with his hand in a cookie jar, and the authorities is getting ready to take him in, he'll go in his drawer and put a gun to his hand and blow his brains out. You see a whole lot of people kill themselves. You know, you heard about a whole lot of people killing themselves, you know, because they can't hang. And the stock market's crashed, they killed themselves, you know, jumped out the window. So they crashing now. So in order for Biden and Trump, you know, the Republicans and the Democrats, they say we don't want neither one of them as our leader. We got to save ourselves because they was doing wrong too. Not all of them, but the majority of them was. You know, if you watch this movie, Eddie Murphy got out, The Distinguished Gentleman, with Eddie Murphy, you know, that movie right there is on point. It's done in a comedic way to, so you might not halfway believe it, but that's what's happening. That movie tell you what's really happening, you know, because look at Nixon. They assassinated Kennedy. They assassinated Lincoln. There's one more they assassinated. One more president they assassinated. You know. So YouTube is like to get y'all to talking, controversy, and then they stick advertisements in there. You know, then they monetize your station, your station or your platform. You make some money. They make some money, but it's getting to be digitized money. You know, that's where Bitcoin come in at. So you got to get used to how to use it. But they could steal it anytime they want to. They could crash your site or whatever, take your money anytime they want to. They say, we'll put it in this safe wallet. You know, can't nobody break in there. Man, they could break in anywhere. A thief could break in anywhere. You might could slow him down, but you ain't going to stop him. And then I'm asking the question right now is, if they do have a nuke or start dropping bombs over here, where's our bomb shelters? Your politicians got somewhere to go. And they sending weapons over to they sending weapons all over to Israel. Everywhere else they want to send weapons to. In the meantime, they want to take the weapons away from the brothers and the sisters, saying it's too saying it's too much bloodshed and with the automatic weapons. We don't want y'all to have automatic weapons. Y'all can have shotguns and hunting, old-fashioned hunting rifles, but y'all can't have none of this what we got or something that close to it. So they can do you like they did them people over in Palestine. They do that all around the world. Your leaders disarm the population because the Americans is paying them off. See, we'll give you $1 million, if you keep your people in check. You see? Only thing we gonna do over here is march. And then if we start rioting, the police got license to shoot you down. Then they got the National Guard, to keep you in check. They got all kind of police, FBI, state troopers, National Guard, Homeland Security, CIA, Then they got the infantry and the Air Force, and all of them is, weapon up. All of them is got gas, got weapons of mass destruction. It could kill you. So actually, you ain't got to worry about Iraq and them coming over here. And Iraq ain't, they go by the Quran. They're not the aggressors. So they hold him back because they know that they out their mind. The white man is out his mind. Some of them are white too, but they take Islam by faith, and Allah will have mercy on them, and y'all over here, deaf, dumb, and blind in America, y'all think if y'all protest, that's going to change things. Y'all think if y'all vote, that's going to change things, but it's getting worse and you can't see it. Has things gotten better, even though you had a black president? It's worse, man. Ain't nothing changed, man. The game don't change, everything the same, just the name. It escalates. They enhance the game on you. The pandemic was weaponized. Your economy is weaponized. They weaponize everything against you. That's because that's what Israel means, against God. See? Now, some of they people, they trying to tell you, that they know what's going on and that Israel can't win the war and Ukraine can't win the war and whatever. But that's just to keep you in a state of confusion. Actually, the war is against, the main war is against the black man and woman all over the planet. Because we Allah, we God. See, they don't want you to think that God is a man. They want you to think that God is a spirit. And then they want you to think that spirit is a white man. They say Jesus is really God. And then when they show a picture of Jesus, he's white. You go on YouTube right now and you'll see a white Jesus, white angels. Even the devil is white, you know. You ain't know. So they telling you that they everything. They God, the devil, angels, because we white. But they don't tell you, you know, that a black man is God because he's the originator. He's the originator of everything. You know, he's the creator of everything. Like, did y'all ever ask the question to yourself? In the Bible, it said, God said, "Let there be light." So that means there wasn't no light before God said, "Let there be light." But then at one point in the Bible, it said, God said, "Let us make man in our own image." Now the us, who is the us? He was talking to somebody. So have you ever wondered what the image really was? And what did that word mankind really mean? So do you ever ask yourself, getting back to the sun, when God said, let there be light, how long that sun been burning when he said, let there be light? What's the period of time, uh, the time lapse between him making the sun and him making man in his own image? What's the period of time? Now, ask yourself this, was Moses back there then? When did Moses come on the scene to write this? So he had to get it from somewhere. The whole Old Testament, somebody had to tell it to him, or, you know, get it from somewhere. So what people did he get it from? The white man? See, y'all don't reason stuff out, man. We don't reason stuff out, you know, because we wasn't taught to reason. We weren't taught the origin of language, etymology, to edify, you know, uh, language, where it come from. So we speak in English, and we was totally made not to speak our language. You know, they cut our tongue out or something. Our culture was completely wiped away from us. But evidently, when you go over in Egypt, you see the pyramids was built right in the center of the planet. And when the sun come up, you know, it comes up in such a way where it's in the center of the pyramid. Yeah, man. I mean, they were scientists back in them days. So why does the sun keeps burning, man? The sun lives longer than we do. A tree lives longer than we do. A turtle lives longer than we do. But back in the day, in the Bible, it said they was living 1,000 years, 900 years. And we dying at 60, 70, 80, 90. But they was living 900 years, 700 years. Yakub lived 150 years. You know. Why is, you know, y'all not asking y'all preachers that. Ask the preacher that. Why they live to be so old, and even after uh, Adam and Eve got kicked out the garden, you know, they were living a long time. But we don't have no protection. We're not even protecting ourselves. They sending immigrants over here or migrants over here, overrunning the cities. They could be weaponizing these migrants. So we might have to fight them before we get to fight the white man. But all your real warriors is in jail. You know, political warriors, they in jail. Political warriors, uh, religious warriors, street warriors, they in jail, punking each other out. Some of them, you know. So you gangs, you know, y'all, the Bloods, the Crips, and everything, you know. You remember the Warriors? That movie, The Warriors. And what was that? What was that brother name? Cyrus. I think his name was Cyrus or Silas or something like that. Cyrus, yeah. And he was trying to unify all the gang, and they shot him, killed him, and the two cars of police came, and all of them ran. All of them scattered. You know, that's y'all, man. That's the Bloods and the Crips. Y'all shoot each other up, but the one who put you enslaved you. I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm just telling the truth, man. The one who enslaved you, they give you the guns now, so you can kill each other, because they know you ain't gonna you scared of them. Even white men, even white gangsters shoot back at the police. You know, the white gangsters kill presidents. The white gangsters kill, assassinate who they want to assassinate. If a judge or something don't go along with the program, he might come up dead, man. They don't call themselves mafia no more. They just changed their name, just like the Illuminati. They just changed their name, but the game is the same. See, by me being born and raised on the streets of Detroit back in 1946, I was born and raised in Detroit in the Nation of Islam for a period up until I was 7 years old. Then I went out in the streets, got education in the streets. Then I went back to college. You know, it was a community college, but nevertheless, it was a college, you know, ran by black people. Wayne County Community College, which was Shaw College, which transitioned into Wayne County Community College. And Muhammad Ali endorsed it. And they was teaching real, you know, we had black nationalist for teachers and freedom fighter for teachers, you know. And let me show you one brother. Right here. He was a teacher. You know, he was a black nationalist, you know, but he was a teacher at Wayne State University also. I haven't seen the brother in a long time, you know. But he his name is Candy Baba Kumasi, PhD, English teacher. He wrote this book right here, Down the Nile. You see? And I don't know if he drew this or not, but this is his somebody's drawing of Akhenaten. They say he's the one that taught Moses, gave Moses game. You know. Akhenaten. Now he is a brother. Them lips and everything. You know. They say he looked like Obama. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm an old school brother in a new school world, trying to get y'all some game, trying to put y'all up on game. But y'all addicted to those gossiping brothers. Y'all addicted to those. You got to have drama. Your title got to be dramatized. You got to have, you know, you just can't have a title that's lackluster. You got to have dramatization on your title. You know what I'm saying? And y'all love that. You got to have hearsay about entertainers and hip hop and hip hoppers. You know, you got to have like who shot YouTube and what Puff doing and all like that. And they all work for the. That's how they make money. That's how the white man makes money. He don't care if you cuss or fuss. He just want to show you that he's in control, so he might ban your video. He want to show you I'm running this. You know, don't y'all forget it. And you got to do. I want to condition you. You can't say this word. You see this word, you know, you're gonna get banned. You know, because we not running nothing. And this is what Elijah Muhammad, you know, was doing. He was getting us in position to separate and be independent and do our own thing. He said we don't have to fire a shot. You know, we don't have to fire a shot. All we got to do is unite. So he knows that if he could keep the gangs fighting each other, he could keep the Bloods fighting the Crips. You know, I use the Bloods and Crips. I know it's more little gangs out here, but the Bloods and the Crips are the most famous. You know, if he could keep y'all fighting Crips and pushing dope, pimping your woman, because he pimping all y'all. You know, your slave master and his children, his offspring, is pimping all of us. You know, we got to ante up all the time. No matter what we do, we got to ante up. If we want to drive, we got to ante up. If we want to eat, you got to ante up, man. So, you know, in the Garden of Eden, did God make us to ante up, or did he put us in control of the Garden of Eden? You know, he gave us free reign. He made us Khalifa, custodian of the planet, custodian of each other. You know, all we had to do was put a seed in the ground, let it grow, let go our food. You know, because he said, plants. He said, I'm giving you these herbs and whatever, to eat. We wasn't eating meat, you know. And he gave us the sun to help grow. That sun, man, is deep. Have you ever asked the question, why the sun keeps on burning? What's the fuel? You know? Will it be an end? If it was a beginning, they said it's an ending. But sometimes I think God made some things to last. The Creator made some things to last forever. Truth lasts forever. Truth, knowledge, and understanding lasts forever. Righteousness lasts forever. Even though the devil trying to squash it, it's lasting forever. You can't stop truth, man. You can't kill it off. You know? So what's going on now is that you know about the debt ceiling. You know, the debt ceiling they keep moving it up and keep moving it down. You know, they say, well, we put it off to next year. Who do we owe debt to? And if we owe debt to somebody, the American people owe debt, why do Congress keep sending money other places? Man, they pimping, man. They the master pimp. So that makes us the master hoe. You know, because we keep fooling ourselves. Y'all don't have no more courage, man. Y'all don't have no more backbone. He took a whole lot of it away from us. And the brothers start depending on their woman to carry the load. You know, you run away from the crib. I can't talk, I mean, I'm talking about we run away from the crib. But when I got wise to understand that a man is the head and a woman is his helpmate, I started gradually changing. I reasoned it out. By me being born in the Nation of Islam, it helped me tremendously to get a quicker understanding and internalization of what I was here to do and who am I. And it ain't that hard, man. But as long as you keep on letting your enemy school you, then he will rule you and he will fool you. That's why you got the coming of Master Farad Muhammad. God himself came. Now he's giving you rope. He's letting all types of evil transpire to see who heard his voice when he called you. Everybody heard his voice, pretended to hear, to understand what was happening, but they played on y'all that didn't understand what was happening. A lot of y'all ain't evil, but y'all just didn't comprehend Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, because y'all expecting some sensational thing to jump off, because he kept on talking about miracles. The white man keep on talking about miracles. Jesus walked the water, that's a miracle. No, that was a teaching in that, a lesson in that, you know, using allegories and fairy tale like teachings, but there's always a lesson in that. You got to dig between. If you know Moses didn't part the Red Sea, you know, but he told you Moses part the Red Sea, but it's a meaning in that. You know that Moses didn't throw his rod down and it turned into a snake and ate up the other snakes. You know, it's a meaning, a lesson in that. This why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called it a poison book, because you don't have the antidote for the poison. But Allah gave, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad the antidote, the key to open the seals on the Bible. That's what it's talking about when he said the seals, who opened the seals, the seventh seal, and all like that. He had the understanding or the key to open, or the antidote to open the seven seals, or the poison, you know, to put the lid on the poison and let the truth come out. That's what I heard a brother talking about, the genie in the magic lamp. In the Quran, the genie is the jinn, which is the devil, which is the white man. And he got put in a bottle, or put in a lamp, and when you rub on it, make a wish, you know, you get your wish. But in the movie, you know, they got movies talking about the genie. The genie, once you get your wish, you know, the genie turns into a monster, you know, and you good as dead, because you're putting your faith in the white man, which is your enemy, and you making a wish upon him. Oh, I wish I was rich, you know, with money, paper money. You're already rich. You're already rich. You know, you got everything you need when you're born. You know, you got a mother and father to school you into the knowledge of self. The birds got more sense than we got. The birds, a robin, let's take a robin for example. Robin lays an egg, they build their own nest. You know, they build them a house to nest in and raise the children in, the little baby robin. Then they go out and feed them. But they schooling them. They said, we're going to show you how to do this. You know, how to get some food. for yourself and build a nest and so forth. So they go out, get food for them, come back, feed them till they get an age where it's time for them to learn how to fly. You know. So the bird, the robin say, Miss Robin say, and Mr. Robbins tell the little baby, they young robins say, look, we can't keep you in the nest forever. You got to go out and build your own nest, man. Learn how to fly on your own. But we're gonna give you some basics on how to do this. You know, some hypothesis and some theory on how to do this. Then you go out and do it yourself. There's a lot of birds didn't make it, man. You go and see a whole lot of birds that broke their wing, that fell, even when they before they mature, they fell out the nest or whatever. You know, cat come along, eat them up, or even eggs, you know, and fell out, you know, the tree or the nest. So, because the mama didn't build it in a safe place, you know, because you learn from your elders. A brother I done been through what y'all attempting to go through. 77 years, but mine was even deeper than that. I done picked up knowledge from every generation. I picked up knowledge from your generation. You know, every generation I picked up knowledge because I'm paying attention to my surroundings and what's going on. I'm able to read my enemy by now. You know, I have a long memory of what he did, you know, when I was coming up. Most of the brothers in my day, you know, that's the days, you know, when I was a young man or a teenager, that's the days of the Panthers, you know, days of when the FOI was really in their prime, you know, those were those days. And we had other nationalist freedom fighters, you know, the Garveyites and the Moors was deep back then, you know. And we was cool with each other, man. We wasn't arguing with each other, you know. We was cool with each other. And so now we arguing with each other. We're not cool with each other no more. We're not soldiering like we used to. We're not saying this like we used to, or else we'll be in unity. I am an FOI soldier in the Nation of Islam. My duty is to unite my people, black people, and to protect the women and children of my nation. I will perform my duty faithfully, regardless to whom and what. My life and my death are all for Allah. I will be loyal and obedient to the supreme being, Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, who's the authority over me. And to him and him alone I submit. Like in the last video, brothers. So you can't have two masters. You can't have the genie in the bottle as your master. Because the minute you start praying to that genie, the jinn, you change masters. Your master is that jinn. You know, the minute you start pledge allegiance to the flag and pledge allegiance to the Constitution, which they don't even follow, man. They don't follow the Constitution. If they would, they wouldn't allow the Rothschilds to come over here and buy out uh, the body Congress out so they could pass a bill called the Federal Reserve Act, and then come and take up all your gold and silver, make it illegal to have it in your house. If you get caught having it in your house, you go to jail, 10 years in jail, or a $10,000 fine. That was back in 1933 when Roosevelt passed that. I read it to you in the last video. They're going against their own constitution. Then they say it's right to bear arms. Then as soon as you stop bearing arms, black man, they throw you in jail. You know. They start making up freedom of speech. They start making up funny laws about freedom of speech. Yeah, if you a certain kind of way, you can't talk a certain kind of way. You know, that ain't freedom of speech. You can't use anti-Semitic dialect or rhetoric. That ain't freedom of speech. That's hate. You know, man. But y'all could call us nigger and discriminate against us anytime you want to. You know. Just recently, y'all made it illegal to call us nigger, and then we so stupid that we call each other nigger. We say, but y'all can't call us nigger. You know, let's show you how we not reasoning things out. You know, so I don't know if I'm transmitting or not, but I guess I have to just post this if they let me post it. But you know, I'm schooling y'all on what's getting ready to jump off. The hereafter actually means after the war of Armageddon, which we are into now. You know, and don't let them fool you about they on the side of the Palestinians. They ain't on the side of no Palestinians, man. And they got people protesting around the world, marching and stuff. They know that's all y'all gonna do. I'm not trying to instigate no fight. If you don't have the means to fight the Caucasian, but you got the means to unite with each other. So it's not going to take no hard thing for the Sunni Muslims and the Shiite Muslims to unite with each other. The only thing I don't like is y'all got them Russians in the mix, and they white. You know, and I never trust a snake. You know, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tell you, he say, the nature of a snake is to bite, whether he's poison or not. You know, or as a squeeze. He might be the type of snake that'll choke you to death. You know, but that's his nature. And I don't trust none of them, even though I don't know what type of snake he is. If he's a little more, if his bite got venom in it, or maybe he's just a harmless garden snake. that won't bite. But I can't tell the difference. A snake is a snake, you know? And you was born in the wild, or you got that wildness in you, or that nature in you to be a snake, you know? Just like people get lions, raise them from when they was a cub, and all of a sudden one day that he's in a mood that he just wanna, I ain't for you today. I'm just gonna eat you up and tear your ass up, you know? Even though the other lion might be cool, you know? But you might get a ornery old lion, you know, with a beast like nature. I don't know, man. And if you know, Russian, that you're not the uh, majority on the planet, you know, you might have a little more deeper game than them European white people and American white people. Your game might be deep. I wouldn't trust you, man. I feed you with a long handled spoon, you know, because some brothers over in Africa, you know, y'all got the resources. We got resources here, you know. We got resources here and the technology, you know. Just like it's a brother named Moses that know how to make water out of thin air. So we deep like that because we the gods. But we are all up in the white man's rectum and we can't see daylight. So this video is to get your head out the white man's rectum, you know, and so you can see yourself. At least look at yourself, see who you are. And so you won't get caught. Now, you're going to have to, how you going to deal with this? You can't trust the brothers in the nation, some of us say, I ain't, and what about your church? What is he preparing you for? Is he still telling you going to go to heaven after you die? Have you seen anybody that's dead that came back and told you it's cool up in heaven? No. You just got to take his word for it, right? But in the meantime, what about your children that you left behind? You're gonna lead them to catch hell, right? You ain't gonna try to make this a better place for them and their grandchildren. You know, you just gonna die and say, well, it'll be all right for them. They're gonna have to die too. But in the meanwhile, they're gonna have to catch hell from that point where they are born to that point when they die. They're gonna it's no security. We say all you gotta do is believe in God. You know, believe in Jesus. He's coming back. He still ain't came back. You know. So you're not gonna try to defend yourself. You're not gonna try to separate from this system and unite with those who want to unite with you and build a heaven on earth. That's where your faith come in at. If God is for you, can't no man be against you. But God help those who help themselves. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. So ain't nobody visit me. So I'm gonna try to post this one. You're gonna have to, brothers and sisters, you're gonna have to in your neighborhoods try to get to know your brothers. If you're living in a mixed neighborhood, you rather get to know the white man quicker than your brother. You know, y'all gonna have to start mingling. It's time for us to unite. The Baptists gonna have to mingle with the Seventh-day Adventists. The Seventh-day Adventists gonna have to mingle with the Muslim. And we ain't gonna argue with each other. We just gonna have to tell each other we got a common enemy, which is the white man, until he proves himself otherwise. You know, because he's full of tricks now. He'll pretend like he with you and sympathetic to your cause, all to get you on his side. But then he'll allow you to die in ignorance. You know. So let us move on. I'm Black Light with the flavor of the Savior and the kind of knowledge you won't get in college. Truth should be told and not sold. All praises is due to Allah. I always have problems getting out of here. Peace and